Hey folks, welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today, the first thing I want to do is wish everybody a happy new year. We are finally out of 2022 and I am looking forward to what's coming in 2023. Also, I want to thank all of you guys for your support. Without your support, like on Patreon, I would not be able to do these videos, especially over the last 2 to 3 years. And it means a lot, and I will continue to try to put out as many videos as I can and try to share what I feel like is important and what God is telling me to share to the best of my ability. In 2022, we had a lot of expectations. There were supposed to be a lot of things going on with like the Shiba Inu project that was delayed. We had a lot of prophecies that we thought that were going to come to pass and they didn't. We also misinterpreted some prophecies as well, which led to thinking that things were getting ready to happen. We also saw the collapse of FTX, which I do believe that if FTX did not collapse, we would be coming out of our crypto winter. And because of what FTX did, it really put a lot of delays in what was going on with cryptocurrency. But also at the same time, I'm glad that it did happen because there was a lot of corruption coming out of FTX. And it wasn't just crypto, it was stocks too as well, especially concerning AMC. So the way that I'm looking at 2023 is going to be much different. In the way that I'm looking at prophecy, in the way that I'm evaluating and testing prophecy. And I know sometimes that we could just post prophecy after prophecy in the groups and stuff like that, but you come to find out that a lot of these people had prophecies that did not come to pass. And we saw that all throughout 2022. People had dates and pricing points that didn't come to pass. So I think we're going to look at things a lot differently in 2023. But regardless of how things work out, whether we see a bull run or whether we see a drop in the markets, we are prepared in every way, right? Do you guys have your buy limit orders for everything that you want to set up for? Do you have your sell limit orders for everything you want to set up for? If you're just brand new, I would not be focusing on all these different cryptocurrencies and stocks and so forth and trying to set up all these buy and sell limit orders. Start small. Don't spread yourself out too thin because we don't know how the events are going to play out and also in what order. We have an idea. We have an idea of what order of events that are going to happen, but we don't know 100% for sure. So there shouldn't be too much to see as far as prophecy-wise. We should all be set up. I think what's really going on now is the way that I'm being led, and there's a purging that is coming within the prophetic community. Now, I know that a lot of people do not agree with me doing these things as far as I'm showing certain individuals and I'm sharing that the prophecies are not coming to pass. And I'm doing that for a reason. I'm not trying to call anybody out. I didn't call anybody a false prophet. And I have a few more videos that I'm going to be sharing because you know what, folks? I think a lot of times we put some of these people on pedestals as if they're 100% accurate. But a lot of people are making it seem that way because you're defending every single prophecy that comes with a date and then it doesn't come to pass. And then you're defending them. And you're saying Jonah and all this stuff, which is absolutely ridiculous because these people are consistently giving dates and time frames and they're not coming to pass. And just as an example, and I think we have to purge ourselves from this, but the Donald Trump prophecies, 2020, inauguration, 2021, and now all of 2022. And yet, people still continue to follow these prophets who are consistently saying that he's getting ready to return. They give a date and then they turn around and say, well, the elections have been stolen. Okay, if God has ordained DJT to come back, nothing is going to stop that. They are prophesying out of their flesh, if anything. And people are claiming to have visions of Trump returning in 2022 and so forth, right? Going around and talking about it for a whole year. And then when it doesn't happen, then you want to change your tune. And so we have to look at that like, folks, don't you see how crazy the DJT prophecies are? Think about it. And then you make every excuse in the world why their prophecies aren't coming to pass. People need to wake up. And now we got these prophets going around calling out the angel of death on politicians and so forth. And some of those same people, they're getting half of their prophecies wrong. They're giving dated time frames when somebody's going to die. That is not of God. Especially if these dates come and go. They're trying to place curses on these people. If it was from God, then it would happen. That is the whole point of Deuteronomy 18. God has given us specific instructions on how to know whether or not if a prophet or even somebody who's claiming God showed me in a dream or a vision. And you know what, folks? The wealth transfer is made up of mostly people who do not have big ministries. Actually, everybody, either they had a very small following or they had none at all, or maybe their contribution was a confirmation. Maybe they only put out a few videos. The wealth transfer is not made up of all these people that have these big, massive ministries. They have contributed nothing to the wealth transfer. So I just have a few more videos that I want to share. And then that's it. And then we can basically get back to normal, right? Because like I said, everybody should be in position. Everybody should be doing what they're doing. There shouldn't be too many more prophecies dealing with the crypto or markets. Everything that we hear should be something new or a confirmation, right? But if it's already been confirmed, we don't need to hear it 5 or 6 or 7 times. Some people have told me they are so wore out because of all the prophecies that are posted in some of these groups every day. And then half of them have time frames or they have dates and then they don't come to pass. You know, it's funny that, people always accuse the Catholic Church or certain denominations or the Pope of twisting scripture. But then yet when it comes to these prophets who are giving dated time frames where things are going to happen by a certain time and they don't, you guys will twist the scripture to defend them. And that's very, very hypocritical. People act like there are no false prophets in the wealth transfer community at all whatsoever. But what does the Bible say? Matthew 7:15 says, "Beware false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves." What does that mean? That means they're going to look like a Christian, act like a Christian. They're going to believe everything that you believe as far as mainstream Christianity, right? But inside they want to destroy you. You don't think there's anybody like that in the wealth transfer, right? How are they destroying you right now? Some of them, not all of them. I'm just saying some of them. By giving you these dated prophecies and watching you fail. And they're laughing behind the scenes. They're laughing at you. And they're laughing at the fact that you will defend them. Every single one. And then there's a spirit that goes out. Anytime that a prophecy goes out, and then you notice that other prophets will pick up on that and start prophesying that, and then that prophecy does not come to pass, that's a spirit that goes out. A lying prophetic spirit that goes out. And people catch on to that. So that's why even any prophets who listen to this channel, you have to be careful when you hear some of these prophets. That's the other reason. For those of you who are prophets or dreamers are out there, if you see these videos that I'm posting, if you watch any of these people, you can catch that spirit that is giving false prophecies. So 2023 is going to be a lot different for me. And it should be a lot different for you. Everybody should be ready. Everybody should be in position. Let me share this with you. Okay, so right here before me, I have a BTC Bitcoin Flash Crash that happened on December the 18th. And it went down to 2,500, folks, from 16,793. Right? So there might have been some people that had some orders in. And so if you had it set up to where whether you were buying a full Bitcoin or not, that the value of Bitcoin at $2,500, you may have had an order filled, right? And made a pretty decent chunk of money. And that's what we are looking for, right? But we're actually looking for it to happen to zero. So imagine from where it's at right now, it goes from 16,000, boom, to zero, then back up to 16,000. It's very possible It did it at 2,500. Then guess what? So we had a flash crash, and now on Binance, we had a flash spike up to 143,000. So it went from 16,000 to 143,000. Now this could have been just a glitch, but I don't know. If anybody had Bitcoin in a sell limit order for 100,000, and who knows? But it just goes to show, folks, that I think that these are the signs that things are going to happen. I don't know when they're going to happen. I don't know exactly how it's going to happen. I just know that God has been showing your average person the wealth transfer. God has been showing the average person what's going to happen with Bitcoin and all these other cryptocurrencies. And it doesn't really matter what all these different prophecies are coming out right now or over the last 6 months. You know, people giving dates and time frames and so forth. Let's even go back further than that, right? Before everybody thought the Shiba Inu was just the wealth transfer. From looking at all that, we know what God was showing the average person concerning this wealth transfer. That's what I believe in, okay? And even though that 2022 has been rough, I myself have misinterpreted certain prophecies, and I've even discussed it. I myself had expectations in the natural for certain projects that didn't happen, and because of these projects were delayed, like Shibarium and so forth, and then we also had delays with the Luna tax thing, right? It kind of took the wind out of everything. But going into 2023, it's going to be a whole lot different, folks. We're set up, we're good, we're ready to go. If you want to know more, folks, you just have to go back to the older videos. Many of you are looking for something new or fresh. What I say to that is just to hold your peace and relax. Some of you really need rest. I know that because of me. I know that because some of the messages you guys send me. It's mentally and physically overwhelming trying to keep up with everything. And it shouldn't be that difficult. But I think part of it is because there have been so many people giving dated prophecies, and then there's this expectation in the wealth transfer community, and then it doesn't happen. And even I have shared people knowing that these prophecies weren't going to come to pass, but I share them so that you guys can learn and discern whether or not if people are really hearing from God. That's the whole point of it. When people say, oh, you're always sharing people's prophecies that don't come to pass. Yeah, I'm doing it on purpose. And obviously, most people don't listen. And that's one of the biggest things in the wealth transfer community is that people don't listen. People accuse me of all kind of stuff, but then don't even bother listening to the entire video. They will say things and accuse me of doing certain things, but if you actually listen to the video, I addressed whatever your concern is in that video, but you're not listening. So I don't know when these things are going to happen. We just have to be patient and wait. There are some things like, we got tensions going on with China and Taiwan again. Then we have the whole thing with Russia and Ukraine. I have no idea what's going on with that. There could be some other event that just comes completely out of the blue. We don't know how it's going to happen, but the next event that happens is going to be a marker for what's to come next. Regardless, the next event that happens is going to be a marker for the next event to come. Now, the whole thing with the XRP case, now they're talking about another 6-month delay and all this stuff. I don't know when that's going to happen, folks. I was expecting maybe something, ruling to come here pretty soon, but I'm going to, maybe do a separate video on it. It's like XRP is asking for more time for this and that and all this. I don't know. Either way, you are prepared. But I do expect, now this is just an expectation, this is not a prophecy, but because we know that the elite, they want to run up the markets before they want to crash it, right? So that's my expectation, right? And when it comes to XRP, if they know the ruling is going to go against XRP, right, they're going to run it up before they crash it. And if they know it's going to be in XRP's favor, they're going to crash XRP before the ruling. That's the way I look at it. Now, what I believe and what I've heard, some of these prophecies, coming from some of these dreamers and other people, and people keep telling me and reminding me that all of this is going to take an act from God. Whether he allows things to happen or he makes things happen, it's going to take God to do this. And God receive all the glory. All we have to do is be in position financially, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Then God can do what he's going to do collectively together. So anyways, folks, that is mostly all that I have for today. Again, I wish you guys a happy new year. I thank you guys for your support. God bless. TC out.